The world watched in alarm as headlines blared. Chinese Coast Guard fires water cannon on Philippine vessel. A small Philippine supply boat, dwarfed by a massive Chinese ship, is battered by a high-pressure jet of water. It's not a missile, but it's a clear act of force. A message of dominance. On board, Filipino sailors scramble for cover as glass shatters and metal bends. This is no abstract dispute, it's a dangerous front line for those at sea. The roar of water cannons and blaring horns fill the air, each side demanding the other leave. These confrontations are the new face of conflict in the South China Sea. Coast Guard cutters, water cannons, and aggressive maneuvers. The Philippine Coast Guard shares footage, exposing near collisions and intimidation. It's a high-stakes game of chicken with 1,000-ton ships, where a single mistake could spark disaster. Behind the drama is a deeper struggle, a nation defending its rights against a superpower. International law is tested in real time while ordinary people are caught in the crossfire. Each blast of water isn't just an attack on a boat, it's a blow to Philippine sovereignty. The world sees dramatic images, but for those on deck, it's a daily fight for safety and dignity. The risk of escalation is ever present, with consequences that could ripple far beyond these contested waters. This is modern conflict law challenged by force and peace eroded with every confrontation. The water cannons target more than ships, they target the fragile peace of the region. Each incident leaves behind anger, fear, and growing uncertainty. The struggle at Scarborough Shoal is a warning. The line between peace and conflict is razor thin. Scarborough Shoal, once called Panatag, a place of calm, was a lifeline for Filipino fishermen. Generations fished its rich waters, providing for families and sustaining coastal communities. Now, the calm is gone. Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels blockade the lagoon, turning it into a fortress. Filipino fishermen in small wooden boats face blaring horns, searchlights, and water cannons. Their nets are cut, their catch confiscated, and they're chased away from ancestral grounds. The impact is devastating. Incomes have plummeted, boats sit idle, and families fall into debt. Young men leave for cities, and centuries of maritime knowledge risk being lost. The blockade is more than a geopolitical move. It's economic strangulation. The once abundant sea is now a symbol of loss and powerlessness. Fishing villages struggle, their future clouded by uncertainty. The blockade has turned a source of prosperity into a source of despair. The fishermen mourn the shoal, as if it were a lost family member, visible, but out of reach. The crisis is not just about territory, it's about livelihoods and identity. The wall in the water is a daily reminder of what's been taken. For these communities, the conflict is painfully real, reshaping lives and traditions. The struggle for Scarborough Shoal is a fight for survival, not just sovereignty. Why fight over a remote shoal? Two stories collide here. The Philippines claims Scarborough Shoal based on proximity and history, just 124 nautical miles from Luzon, within its exclusive economic zone. China's claim is rooted in ancient maps and the sweeping 9-dash line, covering nearly the entire South China Sea. One side cites international law, the other, historical rights. The result? Deadlock. No middle ground between a 200-mile zone and a 1,000-mile line. The shoal is both a fishing ground and a symbol of national pride, its very name contested. The world must decide, do we settle disputes by law or by rewriting history? Scarborough Shoal is more than rocks, it's a strategic prize. Its location is critical, near Manila and the contested Spratlys. If militarized, it would complete China's strategic triangle, giving Beijing control over vital sea lanes. For the Philippines, this is an existential threat. For the U.S., a challenge to its regional presence. The area may also hold vast oil and gas reserves, energy security for both nations. Control means power, resources, and influence over the Indo-Pacific. The fight is about more than fish. It's about the future balance of power. The stakes at Scarborough Shoal could not be higher. 2012 changed everything at Scarborough Shoal. A Philippine Navy ship confronted Chinese poachers, but Chinese surveillance vessels intervened, blocking arrests. What began as law enforcement became a tense standoff, with ships from both sides facing off for weeks. The U.S. brokered a deal. Both sides would withdraw. The Philippines complied, but China stayed, seizing control of the shoal. The blockade became permanent, enforced by Chinese ships. For the Philippines, it was a bitter lesson in power, politics, and broken promises. China gained control without firing a shot, shifting the balance in the South China Sea. The standoff marked a new era, one of coercion, not compromise. The Philippines lost access to a vital territory, and the dispute entered a more confrontational phase. The world saw how quickly the status quo could be upended. Scarborough Shoal became a symbol of lost trust and shifting power. The lesson in this region: agreements mean little without enforcement. The 2012 standoff set the stage for years of tension and escalation. In 2023, China escalated by installing a floating barrier at Scarborough Shoal's entrance. It was a physical wall, blocking Filipino fishermen from the lagoon. The new Philippine administration refused to stay silent. Instead of just protesting, they acted. A diver cut the barrier's ropes, under the watchful eyes of the Chinese Coast Guard. The operation, captured on video, was a bold act of defiance. The Philippines reclaimed access for its fishermen and seized control of the narrative. This marked a shift. Manila would now push back, not just with words, but with action. The world took notice as the Philippines exposed China's tactics. The barrier's removal was both practical and symbolic. It showed courage could challenge might and transparency could counter aggression. The incident redefined the dispute, inspiring new resolve in Manila. Scarborough Shoal became a stage for resistance, not just retreat. In 2013, the Philippines took China to court, challenging the 9-dash line under UNCLOS. China refused to participate, dismissing the tribunal's authority. In 2016, the court ruled decisively for the Philippines. China's claims had no legal basis, and the blockade was unlawful. The verdict was a landmark for international law, but China ignored it, calling it waste paper. Beijing doubled down, blocking fishermen and building military bases. The Philippines had the law, but China had the ships. The ruling exposed a weakness: international law is powerless when a superpower refuses to comply. Scarborough Shoal became a test of whether rules or raw power would prevail. The Scarborough Shoal dispute is now a global flashpoint. The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade. 1/3 of shipping passes through. The U.S., while neutral on claims, insists on freedom of navigation and challenges China with regular naval patrols. Allies like Japan, Australia, the UK, and France have joined in, conducting joint exercises and patrols. Their presence is both a counterbalance to China and a risk of wider conflict. The region is now crowded with warships, raising the stakes for any miscalculation. For Japan and Australia, the dispute threatens economic security and regional stability. The internationalization of the conflict gives the Philippines support, but also increases the risk of escalation. A single incident could draw in multiple powers, with catastrophic consequences. The South China Sea has become a chessboard for global rivals. The outcome at Scarborough Shoal will shape the future of the Indo-Pacific. The world is watching, knowing peace and prosperity hang in the balance. The fate of a few rocks could determine the course of nations. The Philippines now fights back with transparency, publicizing every Chinese action at Scarborough Shoal. Journalists and cameras document each confrontation, exposing China's tactics to the world. This asymmetric strategy has rallied international support and put Beijing on the defensive. But it also raises the risk. Public shaming can provoke escalation. Each new incident tests the limits of restraint, with the danger of a fatal miscalculation growing. The struggle is no longer just about territory. It's about the rules that govern the world. If international law is ignored, the global order is at risk. Scarborough Shoal is now a symbol, a test of whether disputes are settled by law or by force. The outcome will send a message to nations everywhere. Will the law of the sea hold, or will might make right? The world's eyes are on these contested rocks. The stakes are nothing less than the future of a rules-based order. Scarborough Shoal is where the world decides what kind of order will prevail.